When we think about AI and robotics, we see these amazing moments, right? A perfect move, a brilliant solution. But what if that flash of brilliance can't be repeated? See, in the real world, a one-time success just isn't good enough. What we really need is reliability. So how do we build AI that we can actually count on? Let's get into it. So let's take this robotic arm. An AI can run, millions of simulations to teach it how to move, how to hit a target, and in the process, it discovers thousands of different ways to get the job done. It's all about exploration and discovery, a search for all kinds of high-performing solutions. And here it is, the big but. What if that one solution that looked absolutely perfect on paper was just a 1 in a million lucky shot? A fantastic performance that the second you try to run it again just completely falls flat. That right there is the huge difference between a fluke and real skill. So the big villain in this story is something engineers call noise. And no, we're not just talking about sound. It's any kind of real-world randomness. Could be a tiny vibration, a sensor that's just a little bit off, or even a joint in the robot that's a bit loose. This noise means that the exact same command can give you a different result every single time, which turns a seemingly genius solution into a total gamble. So to really tackle these huge, complex problems, researchers don't just want one answer. Nope, they want a whole library of them. And this is where a really fascinating field of AI called quality diversity comes into play. Okay, so they have this cool name, quality diversity algorithms, or just QD for short. Think of a QD algorithm like a master librarian. Instead of just finding the one best book on a topic, its goal is to build an entire library. They call it an archive, filled with thousands of different, high-quality books that cover every single possible angle of a problem. Okay, but remember that noise we talked about? Well, this is where it comes back to cause a massive headache. It can actually trick the algorithm, and it creates something researchers call an illusory archive. And this quote from the source paper just nails it. It says that with unpredictable noise, the fitness, that's basically how good a solution is, and the descriptor, which is kind of like a label for what type of solution it is, can be all over the place every time you test it. The AI thinks it's found something solid, but really it's just grasping at smoke. Okay, this right here shows you the problem perfectly. On the left, you've got the illusory archive. Looks great, doesn't it? A rich, dense map of solutions. This is what the AI thinks it has. But then, you reevaluate every single one of those solutions to see if they're actually repeatable. And you get the image on the right, the corrected archive. It's sparse, it's patchy, it's full of holes. Most of what the AI thought it had was just a mirage. Poof, the illusion is shattered. The bottom line is, that beautiful-looking archive was filled with these lucky flukes. They looked fantastic on a single try, but they weren't robust. They just couldn't stand up to a second look. The library you thought was full? Turns out, it's mostly empty shelves. All right, so how do you fix this? This is where a brand new algorithm steps into the ring. It's a tool designed specifically to take that illusory luck-based archive and systematically turn it into real, dependable skill. It's called ARIA. That stands for Archive Reproducibility Improvement Algorithm, which is a mouthful, I know. But it does exactly what the name implies. And what's great is that it's a plug-and-play tool. You can use it on top of any existing QED algorithm to make its solutions truly reliable. So how does it work? Well, it's this really clever two-step dance. First is the reproducibility improvement phase. ARIA takes every solution from that patchy, corrected archive and just refines it. It uses evolution strategies to make darn sure it performs the way it's supposed to, every time. It turns a lucky guess into a repeatable skill. Then, in phase 2, archive completion, it uses those newly reliable solutions as launch pads to go find new, dependable solutions to fill in all those empty spots on the map. All right, that all sounds great on paper, right? But does it actually work? Let's take a look at the results. So the researchers put ARIA through its paces on a bunch of tasks, including that robotic arm we saw earlier. And the goal wasn't just to find one way for the arm to reach a target. The goal was to find a diverse and, crucially, a reliable set of ways to reach every possible target in its workspace. Okay, so this is what we're starting with. This is that corrected archive, what you're left with after you toss out all the lucky non-repeatable solutions from a normal algorithm. And yeah, as you can see, it's pretty empty. This is the reality of the problem before our fix. And then, bam! This is what you get after running ARIA. Just look at that difference. It's night and day. ARIA didn't just stabilize the few solutions that were there. It used them to discover and create this dense, rich, and truly diverse library of solutions that are both robust and reproducible. It completely filled in the map. So, just how much better are we talking? Well, the researchers found that across all their tests, ARIA enhances the quality and the coverage of any given archive by at least 50%. That is not a small tweak, my friends. That is a game changer. Okay, so why should you care about all this? What's the big picture here? It's all about moving AI out of the lab, where you can afford a few lucky breaks, and into the real world, where you need dependable brilliance every single time. And this isn't just theory. I mean, think about it. Having this library of rock-solid solutions opens up so many doors. For a robot, it could mean it can adapt on the fly if it gets damaged, kind of like an animal finding a new way to walk after an injury. For video games, you could get way more interesting and varied level designs. You could even use this to plan out more effective and resilient cities. And that really leaves us with this big question, doesn't it? As we keep building these AIs that are more and more creative, generating endless new ideas, maybe the biggest challenge isn't just making them brilliant, but making that brilliance something we can actually count on. How do we make sure what we're seeing is repeatable, reliable skill, and not just a beautiful random accident?